It's a shame that a brat like you is permitted to step on my polished floors.
Ah, the young man who would like to help us.
I know now who's responsible for the shooting at night.
Finally? I bet Steve is behind this. He's taking revenge because we didn't approve his wage increase. Let me tell you, this guy is greedy. First he borrows money all over town just to be able to pay for the mail capsules, and then he goes crazy.
That's right. Steve's a real danger. This man is a time bomb. Let me tell you, when he explodes, we're all in trouble. And now it turns out that he's also involved in this.
Exactly. I always knew he was hiding something from us. He will rot in the dungeon for this. And of course, we will leave Steve down there 3 times as long as anybody else.
Hey, I didn't say anything about Steve. Callus, the hermit.
Ah, I knew it. Somebody who prefers the existence of a hermit to an orderly bourgeois life can only be a criminal.
Exactly. Didn't we used to give the death penalty for that? Hey, but what about Callus now?
I'm not entirely sure yet, but I will find out.
Now, don't get all cocky about your partial success, young man. You still don't seem to know anything specific. With this, you are just wasting our time. Come back if you manage to stop the shooting.
Farida, the magic tradeswoman.
Farida? I don't believe it. The woman is a respected magician. Okay, she might be possessed by 1 or 2 demons or something silly like that.
Demons? That would explain her low tax rate in the last couple of years. That woman is bound to dark forces. At least she always deducts the costs of her therapy from her taxes. Boy, I say we go and arrest her.
But Farida suffers from the curse. It's not her fault.
Oh, right, the curse. We should take that into account. We would have to arrest almost every citizen if we made him or her responsible for their nightly actions.
I'm sure there are some exceptions, like me, for example. Now, I won't deny that some people start acting a little funny, but do they also commit crimes? Anyway, all of this doesn't help us at all. Come back when you've got something more specific, boy.
Callus lost a statuette gambling with Farida and is now trying to steal it back.
Callus lost something gambling? Isn't that punishable by death?
Excuse me? There's a penalty for losing in gambling? There will be quite a few people losing their heads over that one. Luckily, it's only going to be the losers.
Could I ask you for a bit more seriousness, my dear colleague? Listen, boy. Highly busy officials like us are not interested in details. Make sure that the shooting stops and we're settled. But don't get yourself into trouble, or the town will have to pay for your funeral in the end.
I think I'll have a look around first.
Anything wrong?
I've got a question about the people in the town.
Come on, who should I badmouth?
I wonder what caused Callus to be a hermit.
Good question. Supposedly because of the tourists. But I guess it was his relatives who got on his nerves. Some families can cause some real traumas.
What is Farida then exactly?
Well, she's just a child of the flower power generation. Make love, not war. Love, peace, happiness. Say no to drugs. Oops, no, that actually fits another generation. This is more fitting for her. If you can remember your youth, you haven't lived it. But she's quite good at magic.
It doesn't sound like Farida was a role model for youth.
Rather not. But you can learn a lot from her. For example, how many nightshades you can eat before you go nuts. Believe me, she really knows a lot about that. And I better not mention the glaring remarks she utters at night.
Valerius seems to be quite a strict town councillor.
You bet. Most of all, he's an ancient stickler for principles. If he wasn't a sorcerer, they'd already have put him in shining armour and sent him off to fight against evil.
Is it possible that Hokus isn't quite right in the head?
Well, yes, that might be. Allegedly, one of his ancestors once did an experiment on himself with malicious magic. Since then, the whole family is completely mixed up. But since they are part of the founders of the town, nobody dares to throw them out of the town hall, which at least makes the bunch of snobs a lot more entertaining.
Enough of all this trash talking. There are a few things I don't understand.
What's the matter?
Do you think I ought to return the statuette to Callus?
Sure. What can be said against it?
Hey! I ought to steal the thing. I'll end up in the dungeon. That is, if Farida won't turn me into a fine dust with her magic bullets.
I see. Well, yes, that might indeed be a problem. Just make sure that Farida coughs up the statuette voluntarily. Or that she's forced to hand it over voluntarily. That might be more realistic.
Awesome! How could that work? Farida will never give up the statuette. At least if she's not in imminent mortal danger.
Looks like you have to make a little more effort then. Maybe you can find a way to confiscate the statuette. But you'll need something official. A document from the town council and a uniform. Otherwise Farida would just laugh at you.
That's all I need to know for now. Enough said.
Just admit it. Walt bribed you into signing this tax rebate.
Tax rebate? I don't know anything about a tax rebate. I didn't even know that we have such a form until now. You have to come up with something better to make me tell you my secrets.
Okay, you wanted it.
Ah, what a horrible noise. Stop it! Stop it immediately!
Anytime. Just give me the information I want. What is with this tax rebate for Walt?
I'm not falling
Why
for
should
that.
I cut that?
You won't get anything out of me. Nothing.
Ah, you think so? I'm gonna squeeze everything out of you. Everything.
Yeah.
Just wait, you traitor. I've learned from the most brutal inquisitors there are. You're gonna tell me everything. Everything from the color of your first rubber ducky.
It was yellow.
Hey, it doesn't work like that. You can't tell me the color of your rubber ducky before I even start. This spoils all the fun.
Uh-oh. Wasn't there a Roman emperor who got quite unpopular for his plans to introduce a toilet tax? Talk about dirty money.
Ah, no!
To me, it doesn't really seem as if Adamus would take a closer look at what he's signing. I could probably slip his own death penalty in, and he would happily sign it. If I see this right, there are a lot of official announcements here just waiting to be put up on the bulletin board outside.
Ah, that's part of the conspiracy. Speak, you dirty rat. Who's behind this? Who are your fellow conspirators?
Ah! Let it go,
Okay,
goddammit!
I'll just cut off everything below the seal of Lucas the Lunatic. This way, I get a document as good as unsigned.
Soon out of nowhere.
What nonsense! They'd never get building permission for a pyramid. It doesn't fit the townscape.
Ha! Liar. This is your signature here on this
I'll place the document between Adamus's other paperwork. He will probably take care of this first thing in the morning, once Valerius is done with him for today.
Ah, stop it! That's just a modern version of a beehive. You can't blame me for the design. I don't know what's causing more headache. This noise or your stupid conspiracy theories.
Just admit it. Walt bribed you into signing this tax rebate.
Tax rebate? I don't...
I hate you all. I know exactly how you're making fun of me.
No one should ever see this decree. It would only cause trouble. Well, how do I look?
It suits the scarecrow better.
Why do you tear me down like that? I think the uniform makes a stylish town guard out of me.
Sure. What do they say again? The uniform doesn't make the man?
You're a mean little beast.
Oh, thanks. But it won't help you to suck up to me.
Okay, I've got the uniform and the decree. It ought to be okay now. At least if I don't screw up with Farida.
Don't underestimate her. She'll twist and turn like an eel to make sure you don't get the statuette. She knows all the tricks. If you give her any chance to tear you down, she'll use it. You must convince her that it was her idea to give you the statuette. Don't mention the matter too directly. If you give the impression that you are submissive to authority, you've already lost. Make clear to her that magic with Anubis heads is suspicious due to the curse.
That all sounds rather complicated.
A challenge of the fear of failure has to have some hurdles, otherwise it's boring.
Geez, this is also just my first challenge. I'm going crazy.